Welcome to our second part of this tutorial. In the first part, we created an overview dashboard where we showed our supply chain operations dashboard. So in the second part, we are going to deal with our order details and the product analysis page. So when we go back to our original dashboard, so here we can see the order details, and in the third page, we can also see this product analysis. So let's start by building the order details. So we come to our home page, we can duplicate this, click, and then we make a duplicate page. So we can rename this as order details. So in the order details, we can just delete the charts here because I wouldn't need them. Let's take a look at, we can delete all of this. So let's delete all our cards. We can remove this, our slicer. So let's go back. So first of all, let's create our cards here. So our first card is showing our average ordered lines. Our second card is the average quantity ordered and the average delivery days. So let's go back to our page. To show the average ordered lines, we have to create a new measure. So let's create a new measure and say, let's rename this measure average ordered lines. So our average ordered lines is going to be our average function, and then we are going to take it from the order line numbers. So this is simply saying give me the average of all the order line numbers. So let's enter. So we have our average ordered lines. So we can click on a card and then we can just drag and drop. So our average ordered lines, we have it here. Let's click on this. We can duplicate this, so that when we just build our measures, we can just drag and drop them. So our second display is our average quantity ordered. So in that case, we'll do the same by making a new measure, and that is going to give us our average quantity ordered. So we'll name our measure average quantity ordered, and then we'll use the average function. I'm going to say that will be the average of the quantity ordered. So that will be average quantity ordered. That will be our second information. And our third information shows our average delivery days. So how are we going to know our delivery days? To know our delivery days, we'd have to go to the Power Query editor. So we go to transform and then transform data. So we click on the orders table. In the orders table, we have our ship dates and then our order dates. To find the difference, we'd have to subtract the order date from our ship date. So we click on the ship date, you press Ctrl to select it. We also select our order date as well. Then we go to add column. In the add column pane, we go to the date and then we are going to say that we are going to subtract the days. So this gives us the days between the two dates. So as you can see from the difference, the first column, this is 4 days, 2 days. So we can rename this, just double click it, then we can name it our delivery days and press enter. So we come here and then close and apply. Yes. So then we can open our other days. So let's insert a slicer and then we write a new measure. In the new measure, we are going to say this is our average delivery days. Average delivery days. We've already found our delivery days, so we just use the average function. The average function, we say that to give us the average of our delivery days, and our delivery days in the order table. So we close our measure, and then we can simply drag our measure into our cart. So this displays our average delivery days. So we have our three information. Our fourth information we want to display is our total orders dropped. So we can just click on a blank card and then we make a new measure. In the new measure, we name it total orders dropped. And then we say this is a distinct count of our order numbers. So our total orders dropped, we can simply drag this. So this displays our total orders dropped. And then when we have a look at our dashboard, after the orders, we have our dates and then the order numbers. So we have our date field here, so we can just display our date. We click on a slicer and then we go to the orders table. In the orders table, we have our dates here. We want to display between, so we can leave our dates like this. And the last information we want to display is our order, the list of our orders. So we click on an empty slicer. So what we want to display is a list of our order numbers. So we just drag our order numbers to this slicer and then we want to display this as a drop down. So we have our drop down list of all our orders. So we can drag this and just put it here. So we have all our information. I'll later align all of them. So let's insert our charts. Our first chart is our gauge chart, which displays our shipped orders against our total orders. So how do we find our shipped orders? To find our shipped orders, we go to our table. In our table, we go to the status column or field. We see that we have different status. We have cancelled orders, disputed orders. So we want to filter for only the shipped orders. To do this, we create a new column and then we rename this column. Let's rename it count of shipped orders. We filter this by a simple if function or formula. In this function, what we are going to say is that our status, if our status is equal to shipped, then we count this as 1. If not, it's 0. So we are just transforming this into value. Then we are going to say that the value of this when this is true is 1, and if not, give us 0. So let's press enter. So we have counter for all our shipped orders. And so we can go back here. And when we go back here, we can now insert our gauge chart. To insert our gauge chart, let's first of all click an empty chart. So to click an empty chart, that is our gauge chart here. And then what we are going to do is we have our count of our shipped orders. That's going to be our value. So currently it's displaying 303 shipped orders. And then what will be the maximum value? The maximum value is going to be the order numbers. We have a total of 326 orders. So as you can see from the card displayed at the top of the pane, we have 326 orders. Out of the 326, we have 303 orders shipped. So that is our first chart. We can change the title here. We can go to the filter icon. We can go to the title, and then you can name this anyhow. We can name it anyhow that you want. So let's say we want to name it shipped orders. We can as well change the alignment if you want it to be centered, and then we can change the font size as well. Let's change the font family. Let me align this to the left. This looks a little better. We can change the color as well. So when we go to our data colors, and then in our data colors, the fill, we can change this to a custom color. I want it to be green. So I want this color. So I'm done with my first chart. Our second chart is a tree map. So what we are going to do is we are going to click on an empty map, and we want to visualize our total orders based on our total quantity based on our orders. So we want to drag our order numbers here, and in our order numbers we want to know our total quantity ordered here, and then let's filter this. I want the tree map to show only the top 10 orders by quantity. So I'll go to the filter, and then I'll go to advanced filtering. In the advanced filtering, I'll go to top 10, top N, and then I'll choose 10. And then by value, I want to filter by the quantity ordered. And then I'll click on apply filter. So this filters my tree map. So as you can see, I have 10 orders, and when you hover around each of the map, it gives you by default, it gives me the order number and the quantity ordered. And then our last chart is going to be our funnel chart. In our funnel chart, we are going to visualize our sales by the order numbers. So we click on the funnel icon. This is an empty chart, and then in this I want to we click on our order numbers, and then we want to visualize this by our sales. And as we did for the others, we want to filter this. We go to advanced filtering, go to top N, and then we want to filter this by top 10, and then we want to filter it by the sales, and then we click apply filter. So Our third chart is also ready. So we have all our three charts here. Let's shift this a little bit here. So our second dashboard is done. We have our beautiful charts. We have our gauge chart showing all the shipped orders as against the total orders. We have our tree map, which shows the quantity ordered by the order numbers. And then we have our gauge chart, which shows the sales revenue also by the order numbers. So let's go to our third chart, or our third dashboard. So we see that our third dashboard is a product analysis. So in this product analysis, we are able to filter the product based on the quantities and based on the sales. And then we create a customized table or a custom table where we can choose to filter by top 10 or by top 20, or we want to see the top 5 products. So this is our third dashboard that we are going to build. So we can just duplicate this, and then we rename this product analysis. So let's select all our charts. Let's clear them. So we can also clear our cards as well because we don't need them. So in the third data, or in the third dashboard, what we see is that we have our product codes as a slicer in our top 10. So we can first of all, we build our slicer. In this slicer, we want to visualize our product code and also our product names. So as you click one product code and then you have your product names, and then we want to visualize this by a drop down. And then our second slicer is our date field. We can edit our slicer. We click on our slicer, go to the format pane. So in the format pane, you can turn on or off the title. We can change the background. Let's change the background to this color. And then we want to change also the items. Let's change our items. And also our slider header. We can change the name as well. Let's change our font color to white. And then let's change our background for the items. Let's change our background to white, and then our font color to black. We can as well make it bigger, change our font family. So I think this is visible and it's good. Can click on the format painter. We format this. Let's change the data input. In our data input, we want to change the background to white. And the font color, let's make it more bold. Let's increase this. And let's change the slider. Let's make it white. So we have our date input, and we also have our product codes where we can filter. So as you can see, we can filter by the either by the product name or the product code. So we are going to build our top n analysis. So we are going to analyze our data using the top n. So first of all, let's create a new table. To create a new table, we go to the home tab. In our home tab, we can just press enter table or enter data. Let's name our table top n table. In the field section, our first column, let's name it our top n values. In our second column, let's name it our top n. So in the values section, we want to specify in what the numbers that we want to filter by. If you want to see our top 5, our top 10, our top 20, or even top 30 or 50. So any values that you want to specify. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'll use only 5, 10, and for example 20. So here will be our top 5, and also this is going to be our top 10 and our top 20. So I'm done, and then I'll click load. So when I look at the table section of the data, you see that I have my top n table here. So that is good. So first of all, let's create a new measure. And then our first measure, I'm going to name it rank by quantity. We are going to rank all the products by the quantities that we sold. So we are going to use the rankx formula or function. In the rankx function, we are going to combine this with the all function. So the syntax is that we first of all have to specify a table name. In our table name, we want to use the product code, but we want to use it from the products table. So we can close this. And then the second argument is the expression. In the expression, we want to use the total ordered quantities. We've already calculated our measure. The value, we leave it blank. The order, we want to specify that we want in descending order, and the last value is optional, so we can close this, and then we can enter. So we have our rank by quantity. In the second measure, let's create another measure. I want to name it selected token. With this, I want to use an if function, and in the if function, I want to first of all we have to specify our logical test. Our logical test is we are going to use the has one value, and then what we are going to say is that whenever someone chooses or clicks on the top n, so we specify our top n, and then we want to specify that the values, and with the values we want to say that our top n values, and if not, give us a blank. So we are done. So let me go over with the selected top n. What this if statement states is that when a user or when someone selects the top n, when this is selected, the value when this is selected should give me the value of our top n values. And then the value, if this is false, I'm saying that let this be blank. So this is just a simple if formula, so we can just close this and then we write our third measure. In our third measure, we want to make it, we want to name it rank X by quantity. And then with this, we are going to say, we are going to use a simple logical test is going to be, that is our rank by quantity. If our rank by quantity is less or equal to our selected top n, is less or equal to our selected top n, then give me the sum or give me the total quantity ordered. If not, give me a blank, and I'll close this. So let's visualize this. I'll first of all click on an empty slicer, and then with this, I want to see, so we have our top 10, our top 20, our top 5. We can arrange also in ascending order, that is from top 5, top 10, top 20, in whatever way that we want. So this is our slicer. Let's format this. We can just apply the same formatting for this as well. And then we go to our chart. In our chart, when we go back to our, we see that we have our product code based on the quantities ordered. So we insert a bar chart, and in this bar chart, we're going to say our product code, and our product code based on the quantities, that is based on the ordered quantities. So we go to quantity ordered, and then our second chart is going to be our product code based on sales. So we as well filter our product code, and our sales revenue is here. So we have our two charts ready. This is our product code based on our quantity, but by default, when you hover around all the product codes, it gives you the quantity that was ordered. So in this case, it's 1008. This one is 1100. But as you can see, the product code is in numbers, and then I want to add a tooltip that will display the product name for each selected item. So I'll click on the chart. Here we have our tooltips. In our tooltips, I want to display the product name, so I'll just drag my product name to the tooltip, and then when I hover, you see that our first product name is Ferrari Spider Red, and when I hover to the second product, it gives me also the product name as well. So I'll repeat the same for this chart as well, because I want to see the product name on hover. So I'll drag this, and then when I hover around the chart, I have the product name whenever a user selects or any item you have the code, the product code, and also the product name as well. We are going to build our last chart that is going to be the price versus the quantity. So we are going to visualize this by the use of a line chart. So I insert a blank line chart, and with this I want to insert, and then I'll drag my quantity ordered, but I would have to drag in my price. So I'll write a new measure which will calculate the sum of prices of the product. So we are going to just use a simple sum function. And what we are going to say, we are going to sum the price of each. So we drag this in. The quantity ordered is going to be the axis. So we have our last chart, which is showing the prices against the quantity ordered. So let's come back to our rank x function. With this, let me increase this. Let me turn this into a table. So what we are currently seeing is that for each product, we have the quantity that was ordered. So if I pull in my rank function that I did, so when you can see from this, the rank by quantity, my rank function or measure has ranked all my products according to the quantity ordered. So the highest being 1808 is ranked as 1 based on the sum of the quantity ordered, which is the highest. So this gives me a rank of all the products. And then when I pull in or I drag in my rank X measure, let's go to the formula bar. My rank X, I've said in the if condition that if my quantity is less or equal to my selected top n, and currently we have selected the top 5. So as you can see, the rank X by quantity is showing only 5 values, and this is ranked by the highest up to the 5th value. So I'm saying that the rank by quantity, that is the measure, if it's less or equal to my selected top n, show me the total ordered quantities. If not, give me a blank. So this actually is showing my top 5. So to visualize this, I can just take off this and then clean the quantity ordered and leave only the rank X. So when I select my top 10, it displays or it gives me 10 values. When I select my 20, it gives me 20 values based on the ranking. When I select the top 5, it filters or gives me 5 values based on the ranking. Based on this rank, based on the ranking. So I can visualize this by bar chart. So that is for the quantity. So as you can see, as I select my 5, it changes this. This gives me the top 10. This gives me the top 20. But this only applies to it's only ranked by the quantity. So we are going to repeat the same for the sales. We can use a variable n where it's going to apply to both, or we can write this. So in another video, we are going to use a variable rank n. But in this case, we are going to write the same thing for the product code based on the sales revenue. So I'm going to write a new measure, and in this measure, I'll name it rank by sales. And in the rank by sales, I'll use the same rank X function, and then I'll use the all function. So I'll still use the product code. And this product code I'll use from the product table. I'll close this, and with the expression, I'm going to use the sales, total sales measure, and then the value is blank, and then I'll rank this by descending. I can close this, then I'll apply. We'll do another measure. That will be the selected top end for the sales. So in this case, I'm going to repeat the same thing, that has one value. I'm going to say that whenever top end is selected, give me the values based on the values, and then if not, give me a blank. So this is done, and then I'll write my last measure. I'll name this rank by sales X, and then I'll write the if function. I'll say that my rank by sales, if my rank by sales is less or equal to my selected top end, that is sales, then give me the sum sales, total sales measure. If not, give me blank. So I've written all my measures so we can visualize this as well. Let me take off the product name. So we have all the product codes and the sales revenue that we generated from the product code. So if I pull in my rank by sales, you see that it ranks all the sales revenue from descending order, that is from the highest. So all my products are being ranked based on the sales. And then if I pull in my rank X, my rank by sales X, this gives me the values as well. So from the table, you can see that all my values are ranked. So you see that this has filtered the data up to 20. So currently it's on my selected value is top 20, and it's when you look at this field, the rank by sales X is showing values up to 20. It's currently repeating the values, that is the sales revenue, but it only shows the selected top end. So when I select my top 10, my rank by sales will be only 10 values will be displayed based on the sales revenue, which is also based on the ranking by my third field. So that is that. So I can, when I want to visualize this, I can take off this. So then let's convert this to a chart. So when I select my top 20, everything dynamically changes, all my charts, because I've linked this table to all these charts. And this also changes as well. Let me first of all change the colors, that is the data colors. You can format this. So I go to the format pane, I go to the data colors. My default color is blue, so I can go to my custom color. We can choose our recent color. We use this one. And then when I go to format painter, I select my chart, go to format painter. I can just apply the same formatting to the second chart. So let's go to our original chart so everything looks good. We have our own beautiful chart. Let's leave this because this is a different, so we can just leave it in blue. So let's see if everything is working here. This filters the tool, and then when I change also the dates, everything is filtered. You see that all the charts dynamically changes, and then I can select the product code or name, and then everything is displayed. So all our charts are ready. We also have our order details done. Everything is working perfectly. You can see all our cards are changing because we've written our measures. So everything dynamically changes. So what we are going to do, that's the last part of this video. We are going to link our buttons to the various pages so that by the click of the button, it will navigate to the specified page. So for example, with this, when I click on the button and I go to the action here, I'll turn on the action. The action type, I want it to page navigation. With the page navigation, I have all my pages here, but with the first one, I'll choose none because I want it to be in this data. So when I click, nothing happens. When I go to my second tab and I go to my action, I'll turn on my action, open it. I'll send it to page navigation, the type, and the destination. I'll choose my order details. So when I press Control click, it takes me to the order details. And then I'll repeat the same for the product analysis. I'll turn on the button action, go to the type, go to page navigation, and with this I want it to send me to the product analysis page. And so when I click on it, it gives me the product analysis page. So guys, we are done. We've built 3 dashboards in one file. Beautiful dashboard, dynamic, everything is working. We have all our order details, all our product analysis based on advanced measures. Everything dynamically changes. The file, check out the file below the description. You can download the file, practice it at home. Send me your comments, comment in the comment section below. And also don't forget to subscribe. It's very important. Subscribe and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Lots of videos coming up. I have lots of videos on Python, on SQL. We are going to do a full course tutorial. Everything is for free. You can download all our files and practice it. We have lots of videos to release, career interview videos. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Bye.